I want to shout out the Falcons. Finally had a draft where they didn't have everyone's jaws breaking the floor. Yeah, it's a sad tradition that is ended this year.
Yeah. Here I come. Can't have one if you ain't lost none. Big Papa Bear, call me the Don. This 1-3 nizzle in the sound system. Here I come. Big Papa Bear, call me the Don. Can't have none if you ain't lost one. This 1-3 nizzle in the sound system. Yeah, so what you know about this thing? What you know about this thing? What you know about this thing? Come out the way when I shine.
We up. Price of the brick went up.
Behind the frame.
Yeah. You're in Frizzy. There's a lot going on the last couple of weeks. We haven't done confessions in a minute either.
Trivia tournament, combine, 7-on-7, NFL draft.
Yeah. Been moving.
Been a loaded past like 2 weeks for BDGE. We got a ton of cool content still coming out in the process as I'm sitting here today. It's all been a super busy but pretty awesome last 2 weeks. And outside of the football season, we have all these kind of like once a year events that we do that are really fun. So
finishes up one of the probably busier weeks of the BDGE schedule throughout the entire year. My first time coming back into the office for about a year. It's been really fun. It was really fun. The combine, it didn't go exactly how we wanted to with not being able to film it live. I'm sure that was pretty stressful for Gut, felt for him. But other than that, everything went well. Seems like everyone enjoyed it.
How do you feel about your performance? This is like our first debrief. We should have filmed a debrief immediately afterwards. I was thinking about that to like put it live while the feelings and stuff were fresh in our mind.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to have a very different perspective on, you want to do combine first, then 7-on-7? Because that's two different feelings for me. Combine, I was very excited because I had like legitimately trained from January to the combine to try to get under a 4, to get in the 4.5s. Mm-hmm. So when I saw 4.59, that felt good.
Yeah, that was fast as fuck.
I still felt like I could have went faster if I went again.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to keep running too, but at that point I hit the under and I was like, I'm good. I'm done running. Just because I knew every sprint.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Run.
Run, Forrest, run!
Just because I knew every sprint that I did, it's just like an extra 6 days of recovery.
My legs were shot from the 7-on-7.
Mine were equally too, and I played safety and quarterback. Tell me what you guys probably felt afterwards.
Personally, ran a pretty fast 40, beat my record again. Can't be mad with that. I know there's some people who took my slowers because I was not very optimistic about my time in the 40, and for that, I apologize. It wasn't me. We had a fast buzzer, or a fast laser. So, it is what it is. There's some circumstances you just can't predict when you get in there. But
yeah, I'm still happy with my combine performance. Went faster in my 40, jumped higher than I was expected to, jumped further than I was expected to. The only thing I didn't do was throw the football 33 yards or further. We'll improve, get better, but we'll be back next year. I'm going to train the entire year, become more athletic than Joe.
The combine was fun. We had a lot of tech difficulties, and this is like something that we still need to get better at. And I know Gut kind of blames himself for this, and he texted me afterwards like apologizing, and I was like, you don't got to apologize to me.
I was very stressed the entire day from start to finish just about this Wi-Fi thing. I tried to make it the #1 priority, but obviously I need to do a better job of that in the future. And we got to clean up on that end. There's just a lot of missing pieces, and even the Wi-Fi that we tried last year, like we used the same Wi-Fi as last year, and it just wasn't powerful enough, even though we thought that would work because it worked perfectly well last year. We were able to live stream. Honestly, last year our Wi-Fi was the only thing that worked perfectly. I felt like cameras and stuff last year were more of the problem than they were this year, because this year we had the camera set up, we had everything, we had Underdog, we had Dean running the entire thing and producing it, and shout out Dean. Dean seeing this, he did a hell of a job with just the cuts and everything and setting up the different cameras. I understand some of the cameras were choppy here and there, but that's going to happen when you're on a football field with live sets and everything. But for the most part, everything was good outside of the Wi-Fi, and I was happy with how everything was set up. There was a few instances with the timer. I think there was only 2 instances where the timer didn't work properly with Jack and with someone who was it that ran the time and it literally just didn't go. Might have been Sexy. It was somebody, but Jax didn't go at the proper time and gave him a better time, so benefit to him. And then Sexy's, which didn't go at all, which honestly probably hurt his time, but he ran it a second time and it worked well. So all the technical stuff for the most part worked perfectly fine for everybody. And it just came down to the Wi-Fi, which I overthought at the end of it, and got to be better with that next time. But I think we can clean that up in a lot of ways and find different ways to kind of hotspot better. Obviously, it's something I tried to troubleshoot and thought through, but clearly not well enough. That's on me, right-handed big man. We'll be better next time, and I'm super excited again with how it turned out. I think a lot of people had a lot of fun. The Combine was something where I know Steve had a lot of fun announcing it. Nick did a really good job hosting it. Shout out Nick. He did a fantastic job. Shout out Adam and Steve for the 7-on-7 for commentating that. Steve did a great job the entire day. Obviously, Adam did a great job filling in there and being the sideline reporter, whatnot. Flying in from Ohio to do that, like, can't thank him enough. Same thing with Steve coming up from like down the street. People flying in from all over the place to have fun. Swift, Nerd Sesh, all the guys to do everything. Like, that was super duper cool. And I think they had a lot of fun as well as we did. Mason came out and everything. Like, it was an awesome experience to just be able to talk to people, have fun, and whatnot. So I thought the Combine was overall a success, and we learned a lot from it too. Like, each time we do these events, I know a lot of people are like, oh, just like, why don't you have it perfect this time? We've seen it on TV every time. Well, when you're on TV, you have about 75 people. That's an over-exaggeration. You probably have about like 40 people that are working it, which is like all between producers, camera guys, audio guys, lights guys, sound guys. Like, you have everything across the board everywhere. We're like, obviously when it's just us, it's like Dean's camera guys and us, and we're trying to figure it out. But we learn from that, and that's, I think, something that's huge and valuable for us to keep building on. Hey, next time we need to know we have this. Next time let's cut this camera angle this time. And I think us going through that stage where now we just went through a camera crew. The first time we did it just ourselves. Now we did it with the camera crew, and we figure out, hey, where are the kinks in this and what are not. So us being able to build off that, like, next year should be a literal feature film with how much we know, how to do the angles and where to put people, where we have the 40 angled, where we have the vertical jump angled, where we should put our hosts and everything. All that sort of stuff, like, we fix throughout the thing. I think that is valuable information for us to live and learn, as any real thing is, you know? You're always going to have those mistakes, and you take them on the chin, and some of them fucking suck in the moment when I'm running to Best Buy and then it starts raining and then we're like, holy fuck, the world is ending. But you learn from those, and that's like, as much as it sucks in the moment, it is a really cool thing overall.
You did fine. Like, we all had fun. At the end of the day, those types of events are really, like, they're for the audience, but they're also for us. Those type of events are really like the way I would like BDG to operate. Like, it's fun to bring in all these creators into the network and like have those days where we, you know, just do this stuff together, and then it becomes a lot of like a bonding experience. But it's, I would say, for us than it is for the audience, and we just want you guys to be in on it as well. So live stream obviously went down. The problem with that is like the way that we communicate it, obviously, as a business, that you guys have money being paid for and you're expecting a specific product or something. So that's obviously something we need to better with in terms of preparation. And I think there's always going to be things that we can get better with when it comes to being more prepared, when it comes to just thinking every aspect through, especially when there are a lot of moving parts to different events. I mean, preparation goes such a long way with not just giant events, but little bits of everything, and thinking through, and we could be better with that. Yeah, I mean, we had our biggest turnout. I think we had 15 competitors. We got bunch of creators, bunch of brands out there, and everybody had fun doing it, which is, at the end of the day, it's like, that's what it's about. And it's good to build those network of people, because when they do events, we'll be the first people they think of, and, you know, et cetera. And that's how you kind of build out the infrastructure here. What else happened at the Combine? Casey got hurt.
It was just a matter of time before sun. If we went through 15 people and nobody got hurt, that would have been
shocking.
Plus, that was like a plus 10,000.
There was a lot of people. No one got hurt, but there looked like to be a lot of people in pain when they were running their 40. A lot of funny stances. You
do realize how much the stance or correct starting position is crazy, because just to show, I ran a 4.67 and then I did a better start in almost a 10.
Because the difference in time is so small that it's like all these little things add up.
Now the actual Combine, how I performed in it, I killed the vertical jump. I did a good job on the broad jump. I thought I'd do a little bit better. My 40 was underwhelming, as the day, literally a few days before the actual Combine, that Wednesday, I ran a 4.6. So I was sad I didn't get into the 4.6s. But again, coming straight off a Best Buy run, I wasn't too mad at it, but I wish I just did a little bit better. My split for 20 yards was good. I just lost gas. My legs in the first one really tightened up, and I was kind of worried. I was like, holy fuck, I might pull a Casey and pull something.
Oh, no!
But then I stretched out. The second run was better, and I felt more loose. And then once we got like moving, I felt looser and looser and looser as it went on. It honestly was such a cool event to do, and I want to do more events like this in the future with a bunch of different stuff. It doesn't have to be just combine stuff. If we want to do, I've been saying forever that I want to do like a softball, wiffle ball, whatever, like tournament with people. I think that would be so fun. Home run derby. Something I think could be really fun and get people involved in that. Like anything that involves like us being active together. Like I'm overly competitive. I know that, but at the same time, I never don't have fun doing it, you know? And I think it's the same way with everybody in here. I know Nick's super competitive. I know JMO is ultra competitive. I know how it is, but I know everyone has fun doing these events. And I think doing more stuff where we're active and outside and having fun, it's definitely something beneficial for the future that we can definitely rip.
But how do you feel about that 7-on-7 though?
Yeah, I mean, we just didn't perform very well. I think they had just a really well-rounded team.
Yeah,
I think that's what it came down to. It's just like Swift and Sean were just very tough to cover over the middle. And now knowing how it was going to play, I think like the first couple drives, also we were like feeling out like what we should do and what our defense should be. And it's like as soon as you kind of make a mistake, then it's like they score and we're like trying to make up for it.
We came up a little short. It was not a great performance from BDG. We were pretty disorganized, didn't really have an offensive or defensive plan. And I think at the end of the day, Snapback just kept it simple. They didn't beat themselves. You know, I don't think they necessarily did anything that we couldn't have done. I think they just showed up with the better game plan. It was early into that game where we kind of were just like, on offense, we were just like, fuck it, get open.
Welcome to yell my names. I don't know half your routes. Fine if everyone just runs routes, honestly. Run over the middle, run deep, run wherever. If you're open, fucking yell my name.
Call my name if you're open, you know, like I'll try to find you. And that's not really the game plan you want to go with like halfway into the second quarter. That's how you know that shit's not working. We have no adjustments. We were kind of doomed from that point, I would say.
We got to a point where we had plays originally.
We were doing well with plays.
We were, but they were also all really short around the line of scrimmage. So once we were like, everyone just run their route, I didn't know what anyone was running. So the people that were running deep, it's like they got open, but it's like I didn't really know where they were going either.
Exactly.
So it wasn't like I wanted to take shots downfield because I didn't know when they were turning and shit like that. So it got tough.
It's also tough because from, like you said, like you're not playing quarterback. So there's like routes, like, you know, when like you do run like an out route and you throw the ball before he breaks.
Right.
It's kind of like there's like a couple of them when you watch, you could see like either like me running a post where you could have thrown it and I would have ran under
if I was
or
anticipating, 100% for sure.
We're not on a practice field, so you don't know where I'm going to be. So
that was the other thing I was thinking about. Like if we actually genuinely practiced, like we'd had a really good offense and been able to move the ball quickly.
Yeah, for sure. With Gut, like he's throwing me the ball, but he doesn't play like I don't play receiver and he doesn't play quarterback.
Right.
For him to
I
know.
mean, sure. We had we had no chemistry there, and that's why it goes back to like neither did Snapback. And I think overall they just had more upside and more athleticism on like a per person basis when it came down to it.
Yeah, obviously I don't know Swift, so I didn't realize how good he was until when I went back and I did the stats. The stats are as close as I can get watching.
Yeah, the stats they're such a good add-on.
I was going through it and I was like, it'd be cool if like when we watch this back, if I just put in the extra time to go through and do the stats, it would be a cool thing to add.
Yeah, no, that was sick.
So him legitimately having like 7 catches for 70 something yards was like pretty accurate.
It's kind of funny too, like when you're watching from like a fan standpoint, it's like the stats are so apparent to you. But I mean, this is with any game. Like if you played any sport in high school, it's like you have no idea what any numbers or stats are in the middle of the game.
No.
Like you're never thinking about that stuff. If you're in a basketball game, you could be 3 minutes into the game and you're like, I don't know if I scored yet. You know? And at the end of the game, it's like, it just is what it is. But it's funny looking back because I'd have no idea what people's stats.
At first, when we first ended the game, like I didn't think you did a bad job at quarterback at all. But when I did the stats, I was like, holy, Nick was you missed 2 passes the whole first half.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. One of them was on a deep ball. And then I don't even remember what the second incompletion was.
Second one was back of the end zone when I tried to get it to Mason.
Oh, yeah.
We
So
were
they're
on the
both
goal
deep,
line.
like kind of deep balls.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people shitting on Gut to come in at quarterback as the coaching decision. I had no problem with it because I also felt like at QB, like the stats were great, 14 for 16, but I wasn't taking any real shots downfield because I wasn't seeing the field very well, to be honest. So that's why I was like, if Gut feels strongly about coming in and playing, he's gonna, open up the offense. I had no problem with him doing that. So I didn't care about being benched or taken out whatsoever, just because I didn't feel like I had a grasp on an offense, just because the offense was ungraspable the way we were playing, you know?
That's fair.
From the 7-on-7 side, I know everyone's gonna be like, well, whoa, QB. Me and Joe talked at halftime. This is the whole lore behind the QB decision. Whoever made a QB decision fucking sucks. Me and Joe talked at halftime, and we both were like, we have deep shots that we're just not looking at. Like, it's not that we're not hitting them, like we're not looking at them, and we're only taking stuff like 5 yards under. And I know you have a cut of it. Before the end of the first half and in the beginning of the second half, they were playing, no joke, all within the first 10 yards and leaving posts wide open between like J-Mo or I think Logan was wide, like actually booty butt naked a few times.
Looking back at the film, it's like everybody's running deep wide open. Felt like it was like the game is not long enough for me to risk taking those shots when the underneath shit is wide open, you know, because it felt like if I throw one pick, it's like they're going to score a touchdown and then it's going to get away really quickly.
Alternatively, it was like if you did hit me or anybody on like first or second drive on like a deep route, then it would have changed everything. Yeah, then everybody could have ran deep and they would have just.
For sure. Going back now, I definitely would have taken far more shots down the field. I didn't even really, like Steve said on the broadcast, like I always played quarterback.
Nick, I have known Nick pretty long in my life. He's always
how long would you say?
7th grade.
Okay.
Definitely 7th grade. So it's been some time. He has always played quarterback.
So ever since elementary school, Nick's been a QB.
Yeah, he's very smart, very intelligent. He sees what people open all the time, so it's going to be interesting.
I don't know if I've ever played quarterback at anything in my life. Like, it's not like we were playing like pickup football in high school and shit all the time. Like, I didn't play any organized football, so I've never played actual quarterback. So I didn't really know like where to be looking and how far my eyes should be going on the opposite sides of the hashes. So I kept it tight because I was like, you know, I won't make a mistake if I just keep it here. Looking back, there were definitely times where people were open. I still think Sean was a good safety, so it wasn't as easy to look him off and then throw back and whatnot. But
where it's just because they knew we weren't going deep. So that was the thought process of like, someone made a perfect breakdown of it in the comment section of the video of like, we subbed out like a Drew Brees for Terrell Pryor and it just didn't work out. Where I had 3 different throws that I should have made, which I didn't, and I sucked, and I should have made them. One was to Mason, 2 were to Joe. One was to Joe in the corner that I just had like literally 2 inches. 2 inches probably would have made it for a catch, and I missed it. And then the other one was in the other back of the end zone where I threw behind him, and I should have tried to lead him more, thinking he was going to sit down. So again, those are on me. Yeah, woke QB. You can say like whatever you want in the comments. I never played quarterback. I'm not like super duper hurt by it. I played bad. I got to be better.
When you look back on it, when we're playing, I'm like, oh, Gut's not doing that bad of a job. And then you go back and you look at it, you're like, you're just not in the right headspace at that moment to be going the quarterback.
Yeah.
What I felt like. Especially the day he had, I was like,
yeah,
maybe we shouldn't have had him after all the shit that went in the combine. Like all of that to be like, all right, Gut, start making decisions right now.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't like he just was like, give me the mic and the ball. It's like, okay. Like I didn't care enough to, you know, battle back on it. But I don't know that I would have played much better over the second half. Like the completion numbers were there, but again, wasn't seeing the field super well. And to be fair, like their defense was really good too. Like they were grabbing flags extremely efficiently.
I think keeping Nick at quarterback would have been interesting. Obviously, having me as a playmaker probably would have helped more, and I think we would have been in a closer game. But I also look at it as like we got to the goal line, no joke, like 4 times with me at quarterback, all pretty much in a row, and I just couldn't convert. Like that's what it comes down to. I don't think it really killed us in the fact of like we couldn't move the ball. I think we were moving the ball. I simply think I could not execute in the red zone, and that's where we fell apart. Within the 10-yard line and in, like fell apart. And again, that's on me, right hand to the big man. That I sucked.
We got stopped 4. I think we went 4 and outs. So we got stopped 4 times on the goal line, essentially. Like not on the same drive. 4 separate times we got down to the goal line and we didn't score a touchdown.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
4 different times. And if we just would have obviously scored, it would have been.
Yeah.
Because we had a pick, which would have led to points, which we didn't score.
So again, I'm not like shying away from saying I was ass. I was ass. But at the same time, I don't know what would have changed or whatnot. Obviously, we can play hypotheticals all day, but I think keeping Nick at quarterback would have been the smarter decision looking back at it. But in the moment, we were just thinking, we got to try to hit a deep shot. We got to try to hit a deep shot. And I don't regret any of the chances I took. I regret not being able to hit them. So like that's where I lie. I'm not mad about like the chances I took, like the flock shot, the like shots down the field. The one to J-Mo where I threw a literal duck, or Nick it was, and I got picked off. Like those shots I don't regret. I regret not fucking hitting them. I was way too like the way I threw sucked. Cause I wasn't like comfortable in the pocket. Cause I think the countdown just got so in my head. I literally was like a statue, and then I just like slung it from a statue. I didn't have my loose feet at all. Like it was just horrible. So I played bad throwing the ball. So again, that was like on me, whatever. But yeah, next time we'll rock with Nick or whoever and be better there, and we can come up with a better game plan. I think us going to man coverage also really hurt us. I know we've seen that in the comments a little bit of like when we played zone, we kept them in front of us and we limited a lot of shit. Where with man, like we had broken coverages, bigger plays, more chances at this.
Which we messed up on is going from zone to man to man, and then we kept going from man to zone. So that fucked me up when Carson scored that long touchdown. The drive before that, I was playing man on Sean the entire time. So then when he came out like a deep out route, a deep in route, I was like, oh fuck, I'm a man. So then I ran up to go cover him, and then I realized we're not a man zone. And I was like, what the fuck?
I didn't really know what was going on with the defense. I played the same. I played the safety slot on the left side every play, so I was never in man, so I wasn't like paying attention to what we were doing. But the thing is like no one really took shots down the field, so it was like it didn't make sense for us to ever be in cover 3. It didn't make sense for us to really ever play off the line of scrimmage because there's always those dink and dumps. So it became tough to cover them.
Me and Jack obviously got into it. I still will say that he absolutely grabbed the fuck out of the back of my jersey, and us pulling each other's jerseys and then him flopping was really the sell of it. I think if he doesn't flop there, like it genuinely just doesn't get called because we're both handsy as fuck there. Like he's grabbing, literally pulling my jersey off while I'm pulling the back of his jersey. And plus I did a great hip turn, but again, it gets called 15 yards and I picked the ball off, which sucks that it did get called. But again, that's the name of the game. Not even, I think, the next drive, I think he gets called for a 10-yard penalty again for choke slamming me into the ground. Should have been 15 yards, but apparently it's 10. I don't know. It was good back and forth. I love those sort of stuff. I love being chippy. Obviously, I was irritated from just the live stream not working, and then that game just made me kind of over the top. But having a back and forth with Jack was a lot of fun. And we all know it's good fun. Like, no one's feelings get hurt during that. Anyone on the sidelines or whatnot. I really wish Casey would have played. I feel bad that he tore his hamstring. Or not tore his hamstring. He hurt his hamstring.
Oh, no!
It's a pretty bad pull, so again, I hope he's doing better and whatnot. I wish he could have competed, though. Would have been a lot more fun to have everyone involved and not have people left out. Cone went down at some point. I don't know when that happened, but flash the picture of Cone falling. I don't know when that happened. I was not paying attention. It was on Nick's pick. Yeah, rip Cone. I don't know if he came back in the game. Okay, all right. Well, I hope Cone's feeling better or whatnot. I haven't seen him, but outside of that, though, we avoided injuries pretty well. I said next year we should bring an AT. Just have one on the sideline. Just stretching people, taping people, make sure everything's good to go. But I'm sure we'll do this again at some point. There's no way we don't. We have a competitive office. It's a lot of fun. Whether we do flag football or whether we do something else, I don't even know if we're going to wait a full year for it. Like, with all the hype around it and how I think well it did. And I think if we were to live stream that, it would be even better. The problem is we're just going to have to get graphics and whatnot, and we'll have to figure it all out.
Yeah, a lot to learn from. I mean, hopefully we get to do it. And get to do it next year. I had a ton of fun.
Dude, I had a fucking blast playing, regardless of us getting our fucking asses kicked. But yeah, that was super fun. I wonder if like a draft would be better. You know what I mean? It was like just like two captains drafted out. That'd
be pretty
fun.
cool.
Yeah, overall, I mean, the day was fucking great. The combine was awesome. The 7-on-7 was fun as shit.
And beautiful weather.
Super well. Yeah, beautiful.
Way better
weather.
than
Dub
last 2 years ago. Windy and fucking freezing out.
Yeah.
It was cool watching it back, but knowing what the score was going to be, it was a little bit of a tough watch. You know, production-wise came out great, though. It was fucking dope to see that every year. Combine, just getting better. Glad we did it. Glad that you guys got to witness the 7-on-7, even though didn't win the game, didn't even really come close. But next year, we know we got to come with a better fucking plan, you know? We're going to take this loss, learn from it, grow from it, be better from it. BDGE will not lose another flag football game. We also probably should start making games that we know we're going to win. Like, we lost the live trivia tournament a year ago. Now we lose this 7-on-7. Feels like we kind of just make these events, invite people into them that we think we're going to beat, and then we lose. And then it's just like this weird feeling that we lost in our own game. But it is what it is. Maybe we need to invite weaker competition. We just need to rig the rules way more in our favor, you know. Speaking about tournaments, we had the in-office trivia tournament, which will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. Don't want to spoil anything about that.
Trivia tournament was
out.
like 2 days later. That was super fun too, to get everybody kind of like in the element and just hanging out. I think by the time you guys watch this, we'll be a few days into the tournament, so you'll have an idea of how everybody's doing so far. I guess I'm not sure how Sexy's scheduling out the videos, so I don't know how many. I'm excited to see how he does it. He's a pretty good storyteller with the video stuff. Like he made the hype video for the trivia tournament itself, which came out really well, and then you did one for the the 7-on-7, which came out super well. So it's like something that we do well as a company. It's kind of funny. Yeah,
It's kind of
make hype videos for things that don't matter.
As for the tournament, things went really well. I was really happy with the level of competition this year. I think that having Danny and Bush, Ron, Nerdsesh guys, I'm not going to spoil anything because I'm assuming this will come out before the tournament does. So I'm not going to say how everyone did or anything like that. But I think that we had some really strong competitors come in this year for the first time and show out. It was really fun. There's definitely a few hosting mistakes on my part, as you will see once these videos come out. A few controversial decisions had to be made, and I mean, I hate having to do that. I don't want to impact the game at all, screw anyone over, give anyone a free win, anything like that. Making 50 trivia games, it's hard to be perfect. I think it went really well overall, though.
Shout out Sexy. Shout out JMO for doing some hosting, but you know, he's the WOT host, so not actually a shout out to him. Shout out to the dudes who were here. It was fun hanging out with them, fun chopping it up with them. Sexy put a ton of work into it, making like 500 trivia games for us to all play. Organized everyone being here, making the schedule, and it was fun. Like, you know, when we do trivias on Tuesdays, I don't put that much thought into really any of it. I kind of just show up, sit down, and then like whatever's on the screen, just play the game, you know, just name the dudes that to your best ability. But like, I would say for those 2 days that we were in the tournament, my mind was constantly on the NFL, playing grids, the immaculate grids, just trying to like remind myself of dudes and trying to get myself thinking of like different eras of football. I was looking up all types of dudes that like I knew their name because I played trivia, but like I didn't really actually know who they were. So like needed to get my Joey Galloways and my Joey Harringtons straighted away. I needed to figure out who like Larry Johnson was and like Thomas Jones, like all these names of dudes that like they come up in our trivias kind of often, and I generally know who they are, but like needed to really nail down the specifics of their career and what they've done. And that board right there of all the fucking teams, I've just stared at for, I feel like 48 hours straight during the tournament. Again, just trying to rack my brain, like think of every Buffalo Bill that you have ever seen in your life, you know? It kind of consumed me the time being, and it was fun. My only suggestion would be that next year it gets spread out over a longer period of time, because when you're playing so much trivia games, your brain just gets fried and you almost just want it to be over. Like it really felt like a test of wills. How long can you be thinking about the NFL so constantly and so consistently over the longest period of time? Like back home, I used to play poker games with my buddies. We had this rule that you like couldn't cash out. We had to finish our Texas Hold'em poker game until someone won, until someone had all the chips. And I would always be that guy who, I feel like I did pretty well, but we'd start at like 9 p.m. and then like 3-4 hours into it, I'm like, I would pay you guys to be able to go home and go to bed right now. Like I am just done. And I kind of feel like that's, without spoiling too much, I kind of feel like that I was getting to that point where I was like, my brain is hurting so much from trying to think of football.
I do want to give a few shout outs to some people who helped out behind the scenes. We had Simon, who actually makes most of our trivia games at this point. He helped out with making some of the games. He probably made about like 35% of them. And he came with some good games, so it was good to have him help out with that, because it's really hard to come up with 50 unique trivia ideas. We had Kelsey, who, if you're in the Discord, you know who she is. She helped out with actually putting the games on the website. It's pretty tedious to take the answers of 50 games, input them all on the website, and then put them all in Photoshop, have it ready for everyone. So she came in and took over a good portion of those to help out and ease the load for me, especially because it took a while to have the site be fully updated. The engineers were able to update our player pool so that players into the 90s are now on the site and available to use in trivias, which will be good for you guys because it means we're going to have more unique trivias in the future outside of the tournament as well. Kelsey helped out a lot, so shout out to her. Engineers got it done, JL and the team. And then Anna helped out by making the faces you'll see in the games, all of our like StatMuse type animation faces. She made one for all the guests that came in. The rest of us already had one, but none of us here are able to do that at all. So you need to go to Anna for that. She did a good job. Shout out to Anna.
Pretty much like once every 2 years or something, Sexy will make a video like that basically, and you're like, whoa, where did this come from? The first ever thing he ever made for us, editing wise, it wasn't working for us, but he put together like a recap of maybe it was like 2019 or something. He was like just like a BDG highlight tape from 2019.
Trivia? No, before even trivia was
No, like it was just BDG content in general, like anything that came out that year. And yeah, and it was fucking fire. And I was like, you want to do some like editing for us or something? Like you could take something on. It's really funny, but how we got into that.
Definitely does a pretty cool, pretty good job with that.
Yeah, trivia tournament was super fun. It was fun to get everybody in here again, and you know, it's like the combine and stuff is fun too. And then when you get everybody together for like a prolongated period, you get to know everybody, you know, a little bit better and kind of deepen those relationships. So that's cool, and everybody gets to meet everybody. And
by the time you're seeing this, you're seeing that I wasn't obviously in the trivia tournament. I had my family member passed, so sadly I had to be gone for a little bit for that. It's sad, but at the same time, it's like what you got to do with family when shit happens and shit hits the fan. You got to be there. So it was sad I got to miss the trivia tournament, but in the end, I'm very, very happy with the decision I made to say goodbyes and whatnot. So that's where I was at mentally. Shout out Nate for taking my spot and competing and being a dog and fighting, clawing his way. It's not easy to be on the couch with all these sharps. So it was good. It was a lot of fun. Happy to be back. Happy to be rolling.
we had the NFL draft last night.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm fucking hyped about what the Falcons did finally.
Better than last year? I mean, last year you had like
Last year
viral
was
moment.
insane. Well, we took Jalen Walker 15, and I was like, holy fuck, like we made a normal good pick. Like it's sick, you know?
Like this is a football team.
Didn't know how to feel. But then I tweeted out like a meme. There's like a really funny meme. It's like a black lady like that. Like she's about to fall asleep, and I was like, this is me knowing that we're not done doing embarrassing shit tonight. And then we trade 6 picks to get back into the first to take James Pierce Jr. But I'm glad we did it for a D end and a pass rusher because it was very, very clear needs there. So by giving up the first next year, still super happy with the haul that we took away in the first round. And I know we weren't really on top of the Jets stuff, but
prior years, like all the way up until last year, I was on top of it. And then after what just happened, like the last 2 years,
it's hard.
It's hard. Like
it's hard to hype yourself back up.
I was at such a high with like just the potential of what could have been, to like such a back down to pre-injury Rodgers, to the point where it's like you could give me all the greatest information about the Jets, like all the hype like we do every single year, and I'm just like, just win a game, just do something different. Like
something.
It's the same thing. You're just like one of those things where you just poke it.
Yeah, do something.
With a
tweet
stick.
something. Yeah. I mean, your division's not getting any easier, so
it feels like it kind of snuck up on me a little bit. Like normally, I feel like I kind of like count down the days for the NFL draft. It's like, oh, only 7 more days, 6 more days. It's this Monday or whatever day it is. Like it's so close. And then this year, kind of just woke up. It was like, damn, the draft is today, which is it's fine. But I think maybe because like we didn't have an actual event planned for the draft. Like normally, the draft for us is this huge commitment where it's like we're gonna stream through it. We're gonna have all these type of like punishments and giveaways and activities, and it's like we usually invite people from out of town, so it's usually like this whole big thing. This year kept it really fucking mellow. It's just me, JMO, and Gut on a couch literally watching it. Like it would have been the exact same thing as if we weren't streaming. We kind of just flipped on a camera and hooked it up to YouTube, and it was cool. It was fun hanging out. I feel like the Niners made a good selection in the first round. Only time will tell how good it really was. But yeah, not a whole lot of surprises. Shadur Sanders not being drafted, kind of upset about that. I just don't think it's good for the NFL to not have quarterbacks going in the first round, you know? Like classes like Kenny Pickett where there's like Brock Purdy saved the 2022 draft. Because if he wasn't there, we'd have this era of like no fucking good quarterbacks. Maybe that's exaggeration. I don't want to say whole era. I want quarterback being drafted highly because it just puts the NFL in a good position, right? Like think about last year's draft when you had Penix and Bo Nix and McCarthy and of course the top guys like fucking Drake May and Daniels and Caleb. Like that is the type of draft that I want. I just want like all offense, a couple dope pass rushers, and then that is a banging NFL draft, you know? But of course, it comes and goes. You need some drafts like this one where it's like D-tackle, offensive lineman. It's fine. But I just think it would have been cool to see Shedeur Sanders drafted highly. He'll have to go in the second round. Hopefully at this point he gets fucking drafted. I was promised like top 3. A couple months ago he was like top 3 draft pick. Now he's like second round, question mark. Wherever Shedeur Sanders goes, I'm going to like strongly root for him. And that wasn't a narrative that I had like going into this draft. I just think it's kind of crazy that he fell out of the first round, and now I'm like a believer. Like everyone's off of Shedeur, that's when I hop on. I'm buying low on maybe the most popular prospect that was going into this draft. Want to shout out the Falcons. Finally had a draft where they didn't have everyone's jaws breaking the floor. Yeah, it's a sad tradition that is ended this year. They made picks that like the consensus kind of agrees with and thinks was a good move. Shout out to them. Other than that,
shout out Raising Cane's for sending us a little
Chicken
care
finger.
package. I have to find who sent it. This always happens because someone will reach out and then be like, and then I want to thank them and appreciate them, but when they reach out to when it gets it to when we get it to when I film is always like weeks later, and I don't remember like where the reach out was or whatever. But shout out to Raising Cane's for sending us little chicken finger box care packages. There's like 25 of them. I think we lost them already.
Oh, they're out, like, right
they're out
next to
there.
the- Yeah, I saw it this morning.
And then we got that little chicken finger light up neon sign. We got to put that to use somewhere.
Do we have a Raising Cane's by us? Like in
There's
city?
a couple in New York. I don't know how close they are.
We gotta put it like.
I passed one. I actually walked by one yesterday.
We gotta put it like somewhere, hang it up, where it,
Yeah.
like lights up. And then
I think we could probably keep it there. We just got to be able to.
in an extension cord.
Yeah, that'd be a good spot because that's like a little backlight.
As for me, this is my hello and goodbye vlog, as I'm only here for 5 days total. I have a wedding tonight that I'm going to, and then I fly back out tomorrow morning. That'll be Friday the 18th. And then who knows when I'm back here next. Hopefully it'll be once my visa is approved. We are entering the final stages of that. I've been documentarily approved to enter the United States as a resident. Still need to wait for an interview, which my lawyer says is going to take 4 to 6 months from the time that I was documentarily approved to complete. And I was documentarily approved at the new year. So once May hits, that's 4 months. So that should happen very soon. I'm hoping to be able to come back some point this summer, preferably before fantasy starts, get in for the Your League Mates draft, whenever that is. It's always really busy around the start of the fantasy season, so I would love to be here for all of that. Yeah, that's about it. It's been a very busy past couple days. I am sunburnt from the combine. Like, it wasn't even that hot out. It was like, I'll use Fahrenheit, I'm gonna say 55 degrees, 17 degrees Celsius. And so I was not expecting I needed any sunscreen, but I still got hella burnt. So that wasn't very fun, being burnt everywhere for 2 days of trivia. But we pushed through. I'm glad I was able to make it out. I wasn't exactly sure how feasible it was gonna be for me to be here. Just with everything that's going on with like the border, cracking down on Canadians a lot more. And I don't want to get into any politics or anything like that, but it's becoming more difficult and a little more scary to come into the United States as a Canadian. So I didn't want to stay too long and have them think that I'm doing anything wrong, like that I'm going to try and come live here or anything like that. But it's good to be able to visit, even just for a few days. Yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you guys when I see you next.
Overall, really good experience over doing all the events, everything. The past week has been awesome. I want to do more weeks like this. I think weeks like this are super fun. I know JMO was asking, like, how do we do this stuff more? I think we got to figure out different ways, cool events and whatnot, to do it in the least expensive ways possible, where you guys can enjoy everything. And it's a really, really fun thing to put on for people. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. And I hope you're going to enjoy the trivia tournament as much as we did. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. All sorts of fun shit down below. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
it's like trying to communicate with your secondary language. So they seemed very fluent. Obviously, they're well knowledgeable. That's probably not a word. Doesn't matter. Is it? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Knowledgeable. Knowledge. Is that what I said?